You ever felt overwhelmed? Of course you have. But overwhelmed by what? You might think it's by having too many people or situations or stress in your life. But here's something maybe you haven't thought of that will be a game changer for you. There's simply too much information. Like information, it steals your energy, it steals your attention, it steals your focus, it steals your being. Today, we're looking at all the ways that life around you is secretly and silently drawing your emotional and energetic power down, and how to ruthlessly protect yourself from this kind of informational overload. And we're going to use some practical steps and some energetic practices. But one thing is for sure. I want you to finish this episode feeling clean, clear, empowered, super aware, and able to cut out all the excess information that you simply do not need in your life. Flow dreaming, still kinda woo-woo, is just what it sounds like. An escape into the world of woo, also a ride into you, and how to feel happier, wiser, and more self-aware in every way. It's your ultimate journey into personal growth and inner power. We'll explore ideas like how your energy self influences the kinds of opportunities you encounter, or how your personal growth can drive your business growth, or even how that feeling of being stuck is really always coming from something else. We just have to figure out what. That's right. We're a dash of woo-woo, a sprinkle of self-care, a heap of problem-solving and pattern-busting, and a giant cup of encouragement. We're going to relight so much passion, purpose, self-love, and confidence in you that you practically stagger. I'm Summer McStravick, your host, and welcome to Flow Dreaming, still kinda woo-woo. So if you listened to the last episode, 703, I was talking about how to kind of protect your energy at night, right? How to get rid of those 3 a.m. thoughts, those obsessive and circulating, circular, yucky stuff. Well, now I've got a different kind of clean up and clean out and protection. And I often call this an invisible enemy. It's something I was having a conversation with my mom about just yesterday, actually. And she was saying, I feel so overwhelmed. I am tech overwhelmed. Everything has just gotten too complicated. There is just too much to track. And I'm nodding my head up and down on the phone like, yeah, I 100% agree with you. It's funny. It sort of happens slowly and insidiously in our lives. More and more and more has gotten piled onto us. If you are maybe of the older decades, I'm not even going to say what that means. You pick what older means. You might remember a time when, if a person wanted to reach you, they called you. If you weren't home, they left a message on the answering machine. That was pretty much the only way they were going to reach you, unless they wrote you a letter or knocked on your door. Oh, so different today. Today, they can knock on your door. They can write you a letter. Who does that? They can call you on your phone and they can leave a voicemail, or they can simply text you, or they can DM you on any one of a dozen different apps. Maybe you forgot to check your LinkedIn for a while. Maybe you forgot to check Facebook Messenger. Maybe you haven't looked on your Instagram comments in, 5 days. The ways that we have become reachable have doubled, tripled, quadrupled. And yet there's this social presumption in our world, our society, that we should somehow be keeping up with all of them. How many times have you apologized saying, I'm really sorry, I don't check Instagram very often, I'm very sorry, I'm very sorry. You know what? You don't have to be sorry. There is too much out there for us. And I'm going to show you, basically, I want your eyes to open, your mind to explode with like, oh my God, I didn't realize you're right. There is too much. Once you get that, you're going to feel so empowered to start saying, no, not there. You can't reach me this way. As well as all the other ways that information has crept in, overloaded us, and really makes demands of us. I think that's the biggest thing here. Information makes demands. So let's talk first. What is information and how is it making these demands? Okay, I've got some facts for you. I don't want you to get freaked out by them, but once you hear them, you're going to say, "Oh my God, that explains so much. Maybe it's not just me. It's not just you." Firstly, there are 600 million blogs currently. 600 million. You ever wonder why you can't seem to read everything you want to read? That's just blogs. That's not even news articles. There are 1.9 billion websites. You ever wonder why you're out surfing the internet and you're like, I just ended up someplace down some rabbit hole of here and there and I went everywhere and I don't know how to find the best? 1.9 billion. There are over 4 million podcasts. 4 million. The fact that you're listening to this one is nothing short of a miracle. There are over 32 million small businesses in the US. Every one of those small businesses is pumping out advertising. Advertising aimed directly at you. 32 million points of advertising heading your way every single day. And in case you're wondering, well, I escape it all. I go binge watch something. Well, there are 817,000 TV shows that you could have watched last year, that you could have streamed in particular last year. 817,000. There are 4 million books published every year. I know you thought I was going to say in the last decade. Nope. Every year. About 500,000 to 1 million of those are coming out through traditional publishers. The rest, the other 2.5, 3 million, they're published, self-published. So next time you're, looking through Amazon or Barnes & Noble or wherever, your Kindle, yeah, you got a lot to sort through. A lot of people saying, I want your attention. I want your attention. Pick me, pick me. There are 347.3 billion emails sent every day. You, as an average person, receives 121 emails a day. Now, many of these, granted, are filtered into your junk automatically. But still, if you're like me, I'm probably sorting through at least 50 or more. An average person receives 3 to 4 spam calls per day. That is 90 to 120 a month. That's how many times your attention is being interrupted by someone calling you. Aren't you starting to get a little irritated? Like, you should not be allowed to interrupt my attention like that. 2.5 hours a day on social media. That's the average per person here in the US. 2.5 hours. 2 hours, 31 minutes. We spend absorbing information, random information, FOMO, fear of missing out information. Here's one you didn't even think about, right? How many times have you signed a terms of service contract? How many times do you sign them per week? You go to a website, they're like, we've updated our terms of service, click here. How many times have you clicked on the little cookie thing on the bottom of a website? Each time, it's demanding that you pay attention to it. It's demanding your attention, demanding your eyeballs, and you have to do something about it. Click yes, click no, click I don't care anymore. Do you know those terms of service contracts? I looked this up. They take an average of 25 minutes to read if you were to read each one. Some of them take as long as an hour and a half. Right? Are you just like, oh my God, this is too much information. I know. I risk that. That's kind of the irony of today's episode. But we're here to slim down. Like, we're here to cut, snip, slim, and feel perfectly right in doing so. Here's one more, a couple more. Well, one more. How many computer programs and apps are you constantly learning? We forget about this, right? We're like, oh, the productivity. I love using, Excel. I love using Microsoft Word. I love using Google Sheets. I love using this app on my phone, that app on my phone. Every time you turn it on, though, oh, we've updated. Oh, here are some new things. Oh, we've changed things. You're using the apps, but they're also kind of using you. They're saying you must be constantly training yourself to use me. Constantly. We do not stay the same. And if you counted how many apps and programs you use in a week, oof, I bet you there's a lot. I didn't even look up that fact. What is the average amount? But I'm going to guess 30 30 things you have to keep up on. Okay, whew, now that I've already exhausted you, we're going to walk this back a little bit, right? And let me go back to the story with my mom. Eventually, we got around to talking about ChatGPT and how the amount of information is about to exponentially increase. And I just thought to myself, I don't know that I can handle that. As a human being, I was not built for constant processing. I was built to process the wind in the trees, the smell of wood smoke in the distance. I was built to process the feelings of love and connection between other humans and animals. I was built to perhaps have big dreams and think and look at the stars and decide which ones were planets and which ones weren't. Things like that. I wasn't built to process reams and reams of information that the world is now throwing on me like a tidal wave constantly. So why don't we just cut it all out, right? Why not just say, hey, forget it. No, I'm not going to do it. Well, have you ever tried that? Have you ever said, okay, I'm going to turn off all my social media. All right, I'm going to limit my screen time. I am going to make sure I don't pick up my phone after 8 p.m. at night. You do it, and then you kind of slide out of it. Because why? Well, it needs me. I'm missing out. I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm not keeping up. Maybe everybody else is keeping up and I won't. Maybe if I fall too far behind, something bad will happen. Weird feelings arise, ones that push us, that we're not even aware we're having. And yet there we are back swimming amongst all the sharks, trying to keep up. I have some ideas for you. And the reason I want you to think very seriously about implementing these ideas is this. We as beings have only so much energy to give. We only have so much attention to spend. There's only so much we can make and create in our lives. There's only so much time that we have for relationships with people we love, or even developing those relationships, seeking them out, searching for them. There's only so much time. And this information creep, if you will, that's a good name for it, information creep, has started to gobble up more and more and more of us. The information ends up using us instead of us using the information. Does that make sense? All those demands. Read my terms of service. Click no cookies. Open up the app. Answer the email. Delete the spam calls on my phone. It's asking something of us constantly. So here's what we're going to do about it. I got some ideas for you. Things that I've tried myself. Things that free up my emotional energy, things that free up my spiritual energy. And this is where, of course, in this program, in Flowdreaming, still kind of woo-woo, we're always going to talk about that. Because it's not just about your time, right? Then this would just be a productivity show. But the fact is, your time and your emotional self are intimately linked. Your energetic self is intimately linked. You're here to grow and discover who you are and make things and figure out who's the next best person and what can I, fix or create or dream up, or who am I? Like that, these are the real questions of life. And when you have all these little biting, fleas around your ankles of things saying, pay attention to me, then your ability to become that person is diminished. So that's why it's important on all of these different levels. And that's why, frankly, we're tackling it today. Because once you stop being surprised or unaware of all the things around you, you become much more able to go snip, snip, snip. Here are some of my suggestions. Firstly, you need to start listening to your gut when you start to feel overwhelmed. Now, overwhelm can present itself in all kinds of different emotions. You can feel, for me, it comes out as irritability. I get short-tempered. I don't know why I'm short-tempered. But if I go deep into it, I realize it's because I've had too many demands placed on me. And then I get mad at myself. I'm like, well, you actually didn't get a whole lot done today. So why are you feeling you had so many demands? Well, if I look at what I actually did or the demands, only a few of them were really important. 3/4 of them were tedious little snippets, things biting for my attention. Things that I feel guilty if I didn't do, guilty if I didn't attend to. So irritability. You feel that way? What's going on? Is it really irritable about something? Or is it just a kind of creep that came from a slow overload? Hey, but maybe you're not irritable. Maybe it's just exhaustion. I'm so tired. There's nothing left to give. I had all this stuff on my agenda and I didn't get any of it done. So you're starting to feel tired, like you're behind, like you're not good enough, guilty that you should be doing more, but wondering what you've actually gotten done. Well, I'll tell you. Imagine if you have a room and that room is getting filled up with those little colorful balls they put in children's play pools. You know, the ones they have at IKEA, and they used to be popular years back. Imagine your room is full of these little plastic balls, the ball pit. And all of those balls represent things that you have had to handle throughout your day, throughout your week, little bits of information that you are either going into, absorbing, trying to figure out, ball, a ball, a ball, a ball, a ball. And finally, the room is like, you've got like 2 feet of air left at the top. And this is when you're saying, but now I need to do the things that are important to me. Now I need to get my work done. Now I need to be with my family. Now I need to take care of my own self, my body. I need to make my good food for my, lunch tomorrow. But you're full. You got filled up by accident because of all the informational demands. Remember, again, I'm going to call you back. Information isn't just things that fill up your mental self. Information fills up your quantum self. It fills up your emotional self. It fills your energetic self. All of you has to hold it. And when it's full, it's full. It's like eating junk food, right? Eating candy all day. And then your body says, but I know I've got a ton of calories, but I'm still tired because I don't have the right ones going into my life. So these emotions are going to clue you in first and foremost. Now, sometimes our emotions are cluing us into other things. They might be saying, hey, you're in a situation that's not good for you. Hey, you're surrounded by negativity or negative people and you're dealing with that. Hey, you're going through the motions of something that no longer fits you, that you've outgrown. Your emotions, any negative emotion could be telling you a lot of different things, but one that almost nobody considers is, am I being invisibly ambushed by just the sheer colossal amount, the avalanche of information piling into my life? Think about your typical day. Right? You get up, you check your phone, information. All of it triggering a little something. Emails you have to deal with, things that aren't getting resolved, people snagging, wanting your attention, buy this, do that, prompts to give something to them, do something with them, for them, advertisements. And this is before you even have your first cup of coffee. And then you go back on your phone, you get some more. You get some social media. You get things to compare yourself to. You get a lot of irrelevant information that's just for your quote entertainment. But what that entertainment is doing is saying, give me your eyeballs. I need your eyeballs. If I get your eyeballs, I get clicks. If I get clicks, I get bigger. If I get bigger, I get money. And we're doing it. Now, breakfast is over. Your first roll on social media for the day is over. You go to work maybe. And maybe some emails come in and they're asking you again, do this, look at this. Here comes some junk phone calls. Look at this, do this. Taking a break, you're on the web. And here are the terms and conditions. Say yes to these consent cookies, not to mention the actual stuff you are reading or looking at. And there it goes. Get a call from mom or a friend. More information, get a couple of texts that you have to respond to, more information. You think about buying something, and you go to Amazon and there's like 50 versions of it. More information. Because now you've got to figure out which of the 50 versions is the best version. You can't just go buy something. The old days of going down to the hardware store or the main store in town are gone. It used to be easy. There were 2 types of flour. You bought one. Now, there's the same product on Amazon. 15 different so-called manufacturers. Which is the right one? Better do some research on this. Who's to know? Gosh, I made a decision. I don't even know it's the right one. What is it, 11 in the morning so far? Not to mention, what am I going to read today? What am I going to watch on TV today? What am I going to listen to today? How many people are going to reach out to me today? And you see, the priority is, well, it should be people. And all the other electronic forms should be very much secondary. And there's a lot of electronic forms of information pelting you that are absolutely absurd. You don't need it all. And yet there they are, clogging up every day. So this is where you go, I'm starting to feel blah, blah, blah. This is your first line of defense. Noticing, am I tired? Am I overwhelmed? Do I feel spent? Do I feel unmotivated? Do I feel just irritable, cranky? How do I feel? Because there's a really high chance that you're not feeling that way in response to any one particular person, situation, or thing. It's in response to all the invisible crowd. Imagine you're standing in a room and there's 150 ghosts around you. They're all invisible, but they're all poking you and prodding you and pushing you. Do this, do this, do this, give me this. You would be like, oh, I don't know why I feel so weird. I know why you feel weird, but you just can't see it, so you don't know what's happening to you. So there you go. The first way to protect yourself is simple awareness of. But now you say, Summer, what do I do? I mean, how do I know what to cut out? If I cut out one thing, maybe that's the important thing. I don't know. I feel lost. How do I navigate? If someone gives me 100 different flavors of pie to choose from, and they say, pick 2, right? They've done studies that if you give people too many choices, it paralyzes them. I think they had this study done with, pasta sauces years ago. Used to be just 2 or 3 pasta sauces in the supermarket. You'd go, if you were going to buy one, you just bought one of the 3. And then the sauce makers realized something. Hey, we should go for the people who only like the pesto. We should go for the people who like it really meaty. We should go for the people who like it really chunky and tomatoey. Oh, then there are the garlic lovers. And pretty soon you're staring at a wall of 42 different pasta sauces. And immediately your mind is challenged by every single one. Who are you? What are you? What's different about you? Why would I like you? Why would I not like you? Every single one. Your eyes just gaze over the shelf, but every single one is demanding you to make a choice or decision about it. And heaven forbid you just reached out blindly and grabbed one. Then you'd feel like, I didn't do my due diligence. So this is the backfiring of the enormous amount of choice and information that we face each day. And you're asking, well, which one, Summer, do I eliminate? How do I know I won't feel bad about it? Here's the second way to ruthlessly protect your energy. First of all, if you pick the wrong one, so what? Just so what? You have tomorrow, you have the next day, you have more trips to the store, you have more websites you can visit, you have more emails you can respond to, different social media. The onslaught will be continuous. And I want you to kind of take heart in that. This choice isn't the only choice. So close your eyes, reach out, and grab a pasta sauce. It might be fabulous. It might be terrible. But you know what you just gave yourself? 32 seconds of your time and life back where you weren't staring and agonizing and putting feelings inside yourself that are icky. Right? Our goal as personal growth junkies, as flow dreamers, is to not put junky feelings inside of us, not to generate those feelings, not to co-create with those feelings. So you're going to start looking at a lot of things in your life right now, and you're going to decide, hey, this one just, I think I'm going to let go of it right now. This is what I call a kind of radical information simplification, which, even as I say it, is a very overly complex phrase, right? Radical information simplification. Start with the things that bother you most. Like in my mom's case, tech. I'm saying to her, hey, Mom, you know what? You only need one browser. You only need one email. You don't need a complicated website. Tell people they can only reach you by phone or text if they want to reach you. They'll figure out how to do it. You don't have to be everywhere for everyone. But there are so many ways that you can reduce the tech onslaught. I'm actually doing it currently in my own life because I have this company, right, Flowdreaming, that I've built over the last almost 20 years. And my website is huge. It's just like there's multiple shops in it. I have like 30 courses and 200, 300 flow dreams and multiple programs. And recently I sat down and I looked at it all and I said, just because I have it all to offer, doesn't mean that I need to offer it all. And part of me says, well, of course you do. You made it. It should be out there. It should be available. But everything I offer is a piece of information that I have to support. And what's becoming more clear to me is I only want to support some. I don't have capacity to support all of it, especially when I'm trying to preserve that capacity for the things that are really mattering. My family, my health, my one-on-one clients. Those things are really important to me. A lot of the things like, well, your site, got broken on this page, that's not important to me. I'd rather just eliminate the page. So this is a kind of radical simplification I'm asking you to think about. Where and when, how much can you just start snipping out? And believe me, it's going to feel weird. You'll feel like it's a loss. It's unrecoverable. I'm missing out. What if that's important? Let it go. Just let it go. You're going for the bigger picture here. What you're going for is the morning you wake up, you stretch, you don't even want to check your phone. You go have some coffee, some orange juice. You stretch. Yeah, you do some stretches. Crane your head out the window. See if that bird's nest is still there in that tree. Gradually you say, okay, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going to do a little practice for myself. Maybe emotional practice or meditation. Affirmations, gratitude. Right. And what has called to you? What have you had to attend to so far? Nothing. Only you. Only what is important to you. Your body, your health, your mind, your heart, your energy, your future. And then eventually you say, all right, I will now allow a lot of things to badger me, bug me, demand of me. And so you check your phone, maybe you go to work, maybe you work on a computer, maybe you check your emails, maybe do some social media. You get back into the world and then you start to notice how much it's demanding of you. There's that book I want to read, that blog I was supposed to read that I saved for later and never got to, that podcast I wanted to listen to, all of those emails about great programs I wanted to follow up on. And then again, you stop. You say, I'm done. No more. I'm taking a break. Me time again. And this is time you don't just give to yourself, right? This is time where you get to be the creator, where you get to be the maker of things in your life. You get to do your own writing, your own painting. You get to do work or work on a project or finish something that makes you feel good and strong and purposeful and useful. You get to be the one creating the information. And so you do. And it feels good. This is a shift. It's like a big shift. I'd like you to consider it. Because otherwise, what happens is you fall ever deeper. Alice in Wonderland going down the rabbit hole into these information-rich environments, and we forget we're there until they have absolutely nibbled every little piece of skin off of us. I know that was a disgusting image, but that's what ends up happening. So speaking of, here is the third way that I want you to really ruthlessly start protecting the amount of information that is able to reach you, okay? You're going to remove yourself from any information-rich environment that does not make you feel happy, that does not make you feel filled up, that doesn't give to you more than it asks of you. Tricky, huh? There's a caveat to this, right? I'm not a person who says don't watch the news, don't participate in human events and climate change and politics and all of that, right? Or helping the needy. I think you should do all of those things. There's some information that if you engage in it, you can become a powerful force in it, a benefactor of it. So do engage in those. Even if they don't make you feel joyful, you're engaging in them because you want to make the world a better place, either by having knowledge of it or even participating in creating that embetterment. I'm talking about the junk food information spaces here. The junk food. And you know exactly what those are. Like one probably popped up in your head right now. Maybe it's the fact that you're on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and like all of them, LinkedIn, like your Pinterest, you're doing all of them. Maybe you feel urgency around doing all of them. I must check in. I need to know it's for work. It's for this. It's for that. Is it? Everyone is saying to you, hey, compare yourself to me. See what I'm doing. See what you're not doing. See what you missed out on. See what you think about this. Comment, subscribe, engage. For what? For who? Not for you. So you want to only engage if it's for you. Does this make me feel good? Do I feel happy? Information-rich environments. It could be TV. How many apps do you have? Like I've counted them sometimes and I'm like, I've got Peacock, I've got Netflix, I've got Amazon Prime, I've got Apple TV, I've got HBO Max. I mean, like, oh my goodness. And when I'm carrying all of those, the implication is you should be watching shows on all of those or you're paying for nothing. Remember when I said there's something like 819,000 streaming shows in 1 year alone? There's no way I can get through those. So pick one or two. Enjoy them. Take the other options off the table. You can get to them later. Likewise, some energy-rich environments or information-rich environments are not media. They're not tech. They're not TV. They're not your phone. It's maybe your family, right? Your family, people who are always generating drama, generating just this and that and angst and anger and miscommunication, and all of that is information. Yes, it's interpersonal relationships, but it's information. You are processing. What did my brother mean when he said blah, blah, blah? What did my friend mean when they just told me at the last second they couldn't go out with me tonight? Right? That's another layer that you're processing. And some friends and family and workplaces, they are dense with stuff you've got to interpret. It doesn't feel free, simple, and easy. Think about this, contrast it. You've got some people in your life where you're with them and you're like, oh my God, no time has passed. When I'm with you, time flies. It's so easy. It's so fun. I walk away from this relationship feeling fuller and happier than when I arrived. I love seeing you. Right? Those are people who are information rich in a different way. You're receiving from them. It's not just take, 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 take. So I want you to scroll through those people in your life that are constantly demanding of you, look at me, look at my situation, look at my information, look at my complaining, or look at my problems, or look at, participate in this with me. And this is when you get to start to say, nah, nope. Guess what? I'm on an information diet. You know what that means? It means for the next 3 weeks, I get 30% less interaction with everything. It's going to be amazing. And instead of losing weight, you know what you're losing? You are losing overload. You are regaining, you are recapturing you. You're taking you, literally you, back from all these other places that continuously try to eat on it and feed on it and steal it. That's what you're getting. That's why you're going on this information diet. So there you have it. I hope 3 fabulous, wonderful ways to ruthlessly protect yourself from too much information. Believe me, I get the irony. Here you are listening to a podcast, receiving yet more information where I myself am telling you to not be asked by others to do something. And although I spent the entire time telling you what to do, I totally see that. But I'm doing it for a good cause. Because if you can do this, you are going to recapture and regain so much emotional space, so much physical energy, mental energy. You're going to get it back, and you can't get it back until you understand where it's being stolen. That's why I think, of all the episodes I've done this year, this may be one of the most important, so I'm letting it go long, because it's such an invisible thing that really few people are talking about. But to do the big picture stuff in your life, to create things and make things and make magic, you've got to have all of you. You can't have all these invisible energy drains taking from you. And it can feel ruthless because you will feel, I'm going to miss out. What if something happens and I'm not aware? What if friends do this? What if this happens at work? What if this? What if? You know what? That feeling, I guarantee you, will die down after you've experienced a little withdrawal for a while. It is. It's kind of like an addiction. It's really hard in the beginning. And then you kind of go, oh, I'm getting used to this. And then finally, oh, I'm actually don't remember what I'm missing. I'm not even sure what it was fulfilling in my life. And now you've reached that place again. Space, capacity, energy, ability to build. So I'm going to give you a couple suggestions. I have flow dreams for this. Flow dreams are energy, emotional exercises. They are audios that help you manifest. They're beautiful, special little jewels. And if you don't know how to flow dream or what it is, please go to my website, flowdreaming.com. I teach you. Or you can go to my YouTube channel, just look up Flow Dreaming. There is a fabulous multi-part short video tutorial on how to do this, where I actually take you through several flow dreams. But you can start with ones like clutter clearing, right? I have that one in my shop. Clutter clearing is important because cleaning out the physical space is important, but also cleaning out the clutter of projects, of things pulling on you. That's also important. We clear all those different forms of clutter. I also have an amazing course on how to do this. So check those out. I also have flow dreams called Action, ones that get you excited and motivated to do something like this, giving you the boost that you need to get something started like this, as well as tons of healing flow dreams, which are also very, very useful because Once you start to sweep your house of all this dust, right, then you go into a kind of healing phase. You recapture yourself. And that's what we want to see happen. And that's why I think this is so vital. So with that, I'm going to wrap up today. A little reminder, Me School is enrolling. ME School. Go to my website, flowdreaming.com. Check it out. I get to take a very special bunch of you this fall through 12 weeks of deep, intense inner transformation. I am going to find what is the best part of you, what you could be doing with yourself in your life, what would be most meaningful for you. I'm going to help you see those parts of your life that need some help, some love, some healing, as well as seeing the parts that are doing great. You should do more. You're already great at this. This is Me School. We heal, we grow, we find our purpose, we relight our passionate selves, and I invite you to join me. I only do it once a year. As last year, I said, hey, it might be my last year, and it turned out I decided to do it again because I put out a book this year called Stuff Nobody Taught You. Look it up on like Amazon or whatever. And so I have some interest in continuing the class this year. I don't know that I'll do it next year. Right now, it is not on my schedule. So it's in its 10th year. So if you've been putting it off year after year, please do not put it off anymore. Right? I can't make any guarantees. It may be gone or transformed into a different format. So consider that. And with that, my darlings, my dears, go start taking that axe of yours and create a boundary around yourself, only letting in those things that are right and perfect, that deserve your attention. Take care until next time. Lots of love. Me School is happening, and it only happens once a year. This year, we're starting in September, and it is a wild and wonderful ride. In fact, last year, more than half of the students were taking it for their second or third time, which is crazy. What it tells you is that, one, Me School is epic for learning how to awaken or accelerate your intuition, learning to manifest at a richer, deeper level, and for creating those long-standing desires, making those things in your life finally real. And two, Me School works. It just works. So head on over to flowdreaming.com/Me School. We are registering you right now. I really hope to see you as part of our Me School class and one of the next people on this planet to graduate into their next level self. Again, just head on over to flowdreaming.com/Me School and learn all about it.